master the X-ray differential, you need to focus on two things. One, the primary fracture line, and secondly, the level of the center of fracture. Think of it as a map of the femur, where the lesser trochanter is your main landmark. So place your finger onto the lesser trochanter and start tracing. If you see that it runs between the lesser trochanter and greater trochanter, it is an intertrochanteric fracture. Usually, it's a diagonal line going from the top outside to the bottom inside. The center is entirely within the trochanteric mass. Now, if there was a fracture which didn't know where to stop and tails down into the shaft, that would be an intertrochanteric fracture with subtrochanteric extension. You will see the typical intertrochanteric break, but then a long vertical or spiral crack extends down into the shaft of femur. Starting from the lesser trochanter, if you see that the fracture starts somewhere near the lesser trochanter and runs towards the lateral cortex, but not to the greater trochanter which lies superiorly. Rather, this fracture will run much inferior to the level of lesser trochanter, and this would be called as the reverse oblique, which is still considered an intertrochanteric fracture because the center of the fracture will still tend to lie over the intertrochanteric region. It is incredibly easy to confuse this with a subtrochanteric fracture. But getting the distinction right is what is critical for your diagnosis and implant selection. A subtrochanteric fracture starts somewhere near or generally below the lesser trochanter, extending up to 5 centimeters down into the femoral shaft. But a reverse oblique, it must start at the lesser trochanter and run to the lateral cortex. It doesn't migrate down into the shaft. How do you measure 5 centimeters on an X-ray? Simple. Use the femoral head. Its diameter is roughly 5 centimeters. Slide the measurement down from the lesser trochanter. If you see that the center of fracture is somewhere within these 5 centimeters, that would be a subtrochanteric fracture. If it is above, then it would be a reverse oblique. Remember this very clearly. The center of fracture for a reverse oblique stays in the intertrochanteric region. That is why it's a part of intertrochanteric fractures. Whereas for a subtrochanteric injury, the center is firmly in the femoral shaft. While this might seem like a very small thing, when we discuss surgical implications and implant selection, this subtle difference will make a huge difference. In my next video, I'll discuss the logic and classification systems used for intertrochanteric fractures.